My name is Joseph Northington. I've been a case manager at Derek Silva Community for about 15 years now. About 4 years ago, a client, resident moved in. Um, he was about 70, very independent. We lent support around medication adherence practices, making sure that he was able to get through his day, all of the things he wanted to do, to do for himself, make sure he had the support he needed. Soon after moving in, he was diagnosed with cancer within months after moving in. And that changed a lot in the way he lived his life. He had to go in for treatment weekly, um, and he became depressed. But we continued to focus on his independence and doing as much as he could for himself for as long as he could. So we supported him in this way for about 3 years. He continued the cancer treatment on and off for 3 years. And as things progressed around um, the third year, he decided he wanted to return to Panama to see his family. So we supported him in making that happen. He went to Panama. Unfortunately, he got sick in Panama, but at least he was there with family. And after 3 months, he came back. We did a second trip to Panama as his illness progressed. And he took a turn for the worse, and he became very weak. He wasn't able to get out anymore. He wasn't at that same level of independence. So we did everything we could to small things that he could do for himself, just to continue to support his independence. And unfortunately, he took a turn for the worse. The last time I saw him was a Friday evening. I supported him in eating. He didn't have much of an appetite, but he ate something and he went to bed. And before I left that night, I checked in on him and he was sleeping. The Saturday, he took a turn for the worse and had to go to VA emergency, and he stayed there. He went into hospice care, and he stayed there for about a week and a half, and he died. What's important about this individual was that he was able to stay with us for several years while undergoing cancer treatment. And throughout the time he was a resident there, we supported him, and to the end, to the very end, until he was buried at the veteran cemetery, and that's my story. If Catholic Charities was not around, and he became a resident at Derek Silva Community, and was soon after becoming a resident, was diagnosed with cancer, he would have not received those services. I mean, my office is, in the building where he lived. So we were able to monitor, to be there, for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and on call on weekend to make sure his needs were being met. And we were able to coordinate those services. Without us, it would have been a huge gap. And I don't think he would have been able to sustain the level of independence that he did throughout, the last years of his life. So I think we were essential